Okay, before we start, I am aware of how bad I look, so don't need to tell me and no need to think, because I know, I can see in the mirror and I know it's bad, but it's 11 p.m. on a school night and I'm just like, I was editing right now a vlog. I feel like it's already out, but then I thought, why not, like, I was editing this video actually that I'm about to film, but I didn't like the footage, and I usually do need like a second take when it comes to sit down videos and stuff. I need a second opinion or something like that, but I didn't like the first take, so I'm gonna film it again. And in the first time I took out, it's a book video by the way, I mean you can see by the title, it says book recommendation tag, but again it's a book video. I did take out all the books in the first time I was filming it to, you know, show you guys and stuff, but this time I'm not, because it takes a lot of time and I don't have that kind of patience. So we'll just like make the best out of this one, and I'll do the editing. I'll put like the book covers over here, so just imagine I'm holding it. But anyways, so I'm doing a book recommendation tag which Steph Porter started. I haven't filmed a book video, and I am aware that people don't really care about what I read or what recommendations I have, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I want to, and I have no other content ideas, but I still want to continue doing YouTube. So anyways, we'll start. So the first one is a book you tell people is your favorite. So I mean, this is something that's like, isn't your favorite, but it is more acceptable. I think that's what I heard her say it. So by her I mean Sephora. Anyways, so I think my favorite book that I tell people is, and it actually is one of my favorite, is Red, White and Royal Blue. It was one of the very first books I read and I loved it. I've talked about it before. I'm just gonna give a little synopsis. So basically, it's the Prince of UK falls in love with the first son of America's president, female president, I think. So yeah. So I was saying Red, White and Royal Blue is definitely my favorite. So I gave you the synopsis. It's about that. It's just, I mean, I love the book absolutely. I think it's my most reread book ever, and I will always love it. But I've, you know, read so many books now that sometimes, and only sometimes, its importance seems less, but it isn't. Anyway, the next book is a book that is your guilty pleasure. So my guilty pleasure, which I'm very aware about, is Dreamland Billionaire series. I love Lauren Asher. I am the biggest Lauren Asher stan. I have read every single book by her, and I'm so glad I did, because I love every single book by her, and I think she's one of the greatest writers out there. And the Dreamland Billionaire series is just great. It's basically about three brothers. So there are three books, each about one brother, and so their grandfather dies and he gives them this these tasks that they have to do in order to get their inheritance, and they're like billionaires. They're very rich, as it says in the series name, but it's like they're very rich. So to get their part of inheritance and like something like that in his grandfather's will, it says that they have to do these certain things. So yeah, it's their story, but it's amazing. Definitely worth your time. Definitely read it. Okay, the next one is a book that everyone loved but you didn't. This one I've talked about a lot of times. Okay, and I'm very like, I don't change my opinion about this, and I absolutely despise this book with everything inside of me. It's the cheat sheet. I don't know who the author is. It's Sarah Adam, I think. Yeah, it's Sarah Adam. And the thing is, it's not the writing. I mean, it's also the writing, but the trope, I just hated the trope. I am not a friends to lovers kind of person, like best friends to lovers. That's not my favorite trope at all. I didn't like it, and I've heard many people say that they loved it. It's a 5-star or something. Not for me. No, it wasn't. Anyways, the next book is a book that you read the fastest. So it is very current. I think I read it like yesterday only. I finished Twisted Games in the Twisted series, and I read it in a day. Like, it's a 400-page book. It's not very little, but it's like 400 pages long, and I finished it in a day. I loved it. I think I'm reading Twisted Hate right now, so it's like I'm only that far. But out of Twisted Love and Twisted Games, I love Twisted Games more. I think I said Twisted Hate before. Just correct that. Anyways, then the next one is a book that deserves more hype. Okay, I'm gonna say this once, and I need you guys to buy that book. It's called A Genuine Fraud. So it's basically a book about a girl who lives her life, you know, as a fraud, like identity theft and stuff, but it's written like backwards. So the last chapter is the first chapter. It's very confusing to read at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's very interesting. I loved it. I haven't heard many people talk about it, but it's definitely like worth your time, and it's one of those books that's gonna like be the ultimate favorite, if that makes sense. And also one more book that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about is Boyfriend Material. It's about fake dating, it's gay romance. It just checks all of my favorite trope boxes, and I really loved it. I read it, I think, in 2021, and I read the second part recently, Husband Material, and I loved it. Go read it, please. It's amazing. Okay, then the next book is a book that is becoming a movie or a TV show. So I think Red, White and Royal Blue is becoming a movie. I don't know when it's set to release, but I am so excited. I saw the cast and everything, and I loved it. And also one more book that is currently a TV show, and I absolutely love it as well, is Daisy Jones and the Sixth. I loved the book Daisy Jones and the Sixth. I read it on a road trip, and it was the best experience ever. I loved the book, and I have like 2 episodes left. I am not sure why I haven't finished it yet, but I will very soon, most probably tomorrow. But yeah, it was one of the best experiences I had while reading a book. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's like writing style. Is just so new, and like the whole 90s and 80s vibes that she radiates in her books, it's just like no other. So I absolutely love it. Definitely go read it if you haven't already. Anyways, next one is a book that you have reread the most. I am not the type of person to reread a book, because I just feel like the time I would spend on rereading a old book, I would most probably spend that time reading a new book. So I am not a very big fan of rereading books. However, I have read Red, White and Royal Blue like 3 to 4 times. Not completely, but once because I was annotating it for my best friend, and the other times just to like, you know, remember the feeling. I definitely read it once a year, and I'm definitely gonna reread the Dreamland Billionaire series as well. I just like miss that world a lot. Anyways, the next one is a book from a genre you don't typically read. Okay, so I don't read much outside of thrillers or romance. Those are my comfort genres, and I want to try out more books like in fantasy and stuff, but I usually don't. And also I think the only book that I read was out of my like comfort genres was Normal People by Sally Rooney, and I haven't picked up a book by her ever since, mainly because I feel like I think I gave Normal People 5 stars when I was reading it, but after like a few days of me sitting and thinking about it, it wasn't what I read, it wasn't what I liked, and it took me like a month to finish. So yeah. Anyways, the next one is a book that deserves all the hype it gets. I am a forever Lauren Asher stan, and I think the Dirtier series by her deserves more the hype that it gets. It's the best series I've ever read. I love it so much. I can't even explain it. Also, Things We Never Got Over and Things We Hide from the Light, those 2 books are also very beautiful. I think the writing style between Lauren Asher and Lucy Score is very similar. So it's just like you couldn't sometimes tell the difference between them, but I love both the books. Definitely deserve the hype that they get, 100%. Okay, a book you usually recommend when asked to give a recommendation. many, like usually when someone asks me for like a book recommendation, my mind just like completely blanks out. But I either give All the Bright Places because it was one of the first books that I read when I was getting into reading, or Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo because it was like when I was in the middle of my reading journey, if you will. And then the last one is the Mind Bleep series. I love it. I read it recently. It's like a 700-page book, but it's so worth your time and day. It's like I would spend an entire. I spent like 3 days reading it. That's how good it was, and I just couldn't stop. And I feel like it's one of those books that deserve your time and attention and all the hype it gets. It actually deserves more. So yeah, read if you haven't. I love it. It's great. Okay. Then the next one is a book that has your favorite characters. I feel like a character is my favorite when I think about it a lot, and I usually think about the characters from Laura Nash's book. Again, this is just like a promotion video for Laura Nash's book. So yeah. Anyways, I love Cal from The Final Offer, the last book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. I was saying I feel like Cal has always been my favorite, and he's like the most, like one of the characters that I think about a lot. I'm like, while I'm reading a book I get connected to characters a lot, but once I'm done I don't think about it ever again, otherwise unless it's like a book again by Laura Nash. Anyways, the next one is a book you wish you could live in. I really, definitely, deeply, truly wish that I could live in the Dirtier series. It's just, I love that world, the F1 racing one, even though I haven't watched a single episode of F1 racing and I have no idea what it is even. And I wouldn't even know it existed if it wasn't for Laura Nash's book. But it's just, I love the whole vibe of it. Like all money and friends, and yeah, I love it. I genuinely do. So yeah, that's one series I wish I could live in. The next one is a book you thought you would hate but ended up loving. I don't have a lot of these these books in like this criteria specifically, because I pick out my books obviously because I'm gonna buy them with like not my own money but my parents', so I don't want to spend unless I know I'm gonna like it for sure. So I definitely watch a few reviews before purchasing a book. So I don't have any book. I don't buy books unless I know I'm like not gonna absolutely hate them. But I usually love all the books that I've read. But I think one book that I didn't expect to be my one of the favorite was To Love Jason Thrawn by Ella May. Anyways, I heard good things about To Love Jason Thrawn, but I was absolutely in love when I read it, and people made it seem like it wasn't that good, but it was. For me it was. I really liked it, and I'm trying to think of, I have already made a list on my phone, but I'm trying to think of more books as I make this video. Second last, a book that made you cry. I don't know if I've talked about this on YouTube, but I cried for 2 days straight after I read 1,000 Boy Kisses. I love that book. It is so painful, and I would never in my life would dare to read it again. I mean, I remember reading that book in a single day, and I closed it and I went to sleep and I cried in my bed that night thinking about the book. So that's how sad I was when I read it. I am not a person to cry during books. I mean, no, that's not true. I cried during Twisted Games. I know. Long story. Anyways, I cried so hard. I have pictures of myself like crying while reading the book. I will not be putting them in this video for many reasons. But anyways, I cried a lot. Like a lot. I just, yeah, it was very painful. Definitely read it if you need a good cry, I mean. Okay, the last one is a book you wish you could read for the first time. I feel like anyone who has read this series would say the same, but I really wish I could read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series again for the first time. Because not only because it's like a murder mystery, well, I don't know why I did that, it is a murder mystery, but like not only because it's a murder mystery, but because it's like the feeling when you get when Pippa solves a crime or she figures something out, and it's like I was like gasping during the book while I was reading it, and I just love that series as well, and I really wish I could read it for the first time again or something close to that, so it would give me like that experience again. This is honestly why I love murder mysteries. I think they are great. So if you have any murder mystery recommendations, please leave down below, because I have run out of every single one of them. So yeah, okay, that was my book recommendation tag, as bad as I look right now. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you did find some good recommendations and some good books to read while you're at it. I'm like sweating right now because I turned off my AC while filming it so that you guys could get a better voice quality. I don't know why I explained that, but anyways, I don't know why I mentioned it, but yeah, it's the sleep getting to me. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video. Keep love alive. Thanks for watching.